What is up, lymphomies? My last video was very wholesome. So today I wanted to balance that out. For those that are new here, hi, my name is Nick. In 2016, I was diagnosed with stage 4 double hit lymphoma, and I have completely cured my cancer with kale, lemon juice, and turmeric. Psych! It was chemo, radiation, and a stem cell transplant. I see you occasional weirdos in my comments that tell me I could have cured my cancer naturally. I delete those. So in today's video, I'll be sharing some stories about how I wasn't always a complete angel during my cancer treatment. Because I know a few doctors who would watch my last video and be like, God got you through cancer? What about my happy juice cocktails? I hope that by sharing these stories, I can prepare some caretakers out there for the inevitability of bad days. And obviously provide some entertainment for the lymphomies. So, story time numero uno. When I first got admitted to the hospital and they told me I had some kind of cancer, they put me to sleep and removed a lymph node for a biopsy, about here. Simultaneously, a few inches away, they installed a power port, which is a computer mouse looking device that would be used for the nurses to administer chemotherapy. I'd show it to you, but they didn't let me keep it when they removed it. Big sad. Anyway, as you can imagine, this is a very painful experience. People always ask me about the pain of cancer, cancer treatment, having my hip broken, but all of this was paradise compared to the pain after they installed the power port in my chest. Ow. And I've had shingles, okay? But this was one of the worst pains I've ever experienced in my entire life. Anyway, this was one of the times I wasn't shy to ask for drugs because I just couldn't deal with the pain. So one day, I get my drugs. I'm in bed and I start to feel great. Great to the point where there was a picture on the wall of a beach scene in my hospital room, and the water in that picture was moving. Now I'm getting ready to have the best nap of my life when in comes doctor. It was a man doctor, but you catch my drift. Not a nurse, just one of my doctors with impeccable timing. He decides he needs to check my vitals and look into my eyes.
I just need to look into your eyes.
If you know me at all, I do not like to be woken up. So add drugs and cancer and a poorly timed doctor. He takes my eyelid and opens it, and this enrages me instantly. And I just swing and nail him in the face.
Did you just slap me?
And I didn't care whatsoever. Looking back, I feel bad. But at the time, I was just thinking, you had that coming. My family's apologizing to him. He's all like, it's okay, it happens. I've had patients bite me before. It's okay, you know, she has cancer, she's probably gonna die soon anyway. So let that be a small cautionary tale to doctors out there who think they know everything. You never know how volatile a small cancer patient can be. Anyway, this next story is a story I already told in a previous video called My Stem Cell Collection, A Story. I won't go into tremendous detail, but I have some new information. I was having my stem cells collected under the influence.
You noticing a pattern here?
My aunt decides to be a good Samaritan and donate blood next to me. And I believe she got up too fast and ended up passing out. The next day, my mom confronts me and asks why I didn't care about my aunt. But of course, she didn't know I was under the influence. How, you might ask, does this make me a monster? Well, my mom watched the video. She goes, Nick, I didn't confront you because you were on drugs. I didn't confront you because you were eating Oreos and in outer space. I confronted you because you were laughing at her. Oh. Anyway, I've also used the power port excuse to be seen by chemo nurses on regular, everyday oncologist appointments, taking up their precious time because I didn't want to get blood draws from the arm. And that is like my one kryptonite in life, that elastic tied around your freaking arm, shoving the needle in that tender place. I would essentially cry and beg them every single time, and they'd cave and give me what I wanted. I was like a 24-year-old toddler who just learned how to do a manipulation. And once again, I didn't feel bad, especially when I found out it was more of an insurance thing. As if they know anything about healthcare, please. Yeah, this is Magnolia from your insurance agency. I just needed to know, do you really need your power port cleaned out every month? I mean, and do you really need another PET scan? It's only been 3 months. And probably the best story comes from the night after I had my hip replacement. So the full story is for another day, but I went through hell after that procedure. Hell. They pumped me full of at least 3 different drugs for pain. So I was full of drugs and tubes and only a few hours out of major surgery. So as you can imagine, I'm like a sleeping dragon in a post-traumatic coma. My poor mom and aunt are in the room sleeping upright in chairs, probably only half asleep. And all of a sudden, the brightest light in the room comes on. And this voice says, "I need to get blood." So I'm being ambushed by Dracula herself, and I'm pretty vexed. But still, I am no stranger to the way that hospitals operate at this point. So I stick out my arm where I already have a perfectly good IV not being used for anything. My other arm was currently hooked up to a machine with 2 different holes in it, and I also had my power port currently not being used for anything. Now, I'm used to treated like a cancer patient, where my nurse would literally put a kink in the chemo line so she could get my blood from the same hole. Here in the orthopedic department in this unfamiliar hospital, there was no such mercy. So again, I have my arm stretched out, ready for her to take blood from this IV that's already in my arm. But this biatch was actually tying the torture tourniquet around my arm, ready to puncture yet another hole into me. I yank my arm from her and ask, "What the hell are you doing?" She goes, "I need a new hoe." I aggressively asked why, and I'm absolutely screaming at the top of my lungs at this point. The lights are on, I'm screaming, and my mom and aunt are being awoken by this insanity instantly. After a metric crap ton of swear words, that ended in me refusing the blood work and sending Dracula on her way. I discovered that I had a roommate, also unheard of in the cancer department. She pulls the curtain, and she starts talking to me in Spanish, and talking, and talking. I'm so angry at this point and so desperate for sleep, I could have hurled this bitch out the window. So, in a moment that I'm not so proud of, I scream, "Como se dice F off?" Like the demonic, drugged up lunatic I was in the moment. Dear caretakers, cancer patients are not always angels. Believe it or not, we're not always grateful for the amazing experience of being blessed with cancer. I mean, for goodness sake, they don't call doxorubicin Red Devil for no good reason. Please be patient with us. And patients, please be patient with yourselves. Try your hardest not to take your frustrations out on poorly timed hospital staff and early morning bloodsuckers. Oh, and hospital staff, avoid waking us up. Subscribe for more lymphoma-related content from the eyes of a current survivor and former patient. I know this is a quick one, but I just wanted to get something out there this week. Please drop me a like if you would like. And drop in the comments a hilarious story about how you snapped at hospital staff or someone else while getting your cancer treatment. Na zdrowie, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! That's gonna be a lot of editing.